What if I told you there exists a secret code that can unlock a successful way of life and living? A secret code that can change your perspective, that can make you rewrite the purpose of your life, bring about a glorious transformation. What if the secret code cuts across not just time and space, but also species? Yes, long time before there were complex algorithms or encryption technologies, there existed a secret code. A secret code that was spoken to the Devas, the Asuras, and the Manushas alike. Today, we are going to unravel the three-syllabled mystery, secret that holds wisdom that is relevant to the whole of humanity, even during these modern times. The three-syllabled mystery from the Brhadāranyaka Upanishad. The. Well, it's not a rap song. It's simply a powerful yet simple three-syllabled code that was shared by none other than Prajapati, Chaturmukha Brahma, with the Devas, the Asuras, and the Manushas. The context and the way in which Prajapati shared this three-syllabled secret code is quite fascinating indeed. There was a time when the Manushas, the Devas, and the Asuras all together became students of Prajapati. And they were undergoing training under the able guidance of Chaturmukha Brahma, the Prajapati. One day, the Devas approached Prajapati and asked him, "Hey Prajapati, please instruct, give us what you think is the quintessential wisdom. Wisdom that can become empowering, that can help us be successful and victorious all the time." And Prajapati looked at the Devas and declared, The Manushas then approached Prajapati and asked a similar question. "Hey Prajapati, please instruct, give us the quintessential wisdom that can help us win in our life and living all the time." Prajapati looked at the Manushas and declared, "The again." Now it was the turn of the Asuras. The Asuras approached Prajapati and asked the same question. "Hey Prajapati, give us that wealth of wisdom that can help us all the time to be successful and to be happy at the same time." Prajapati looked at the Asuras and once again declared the. Three simple but profound syllables. The. The Devas understood the message. The Manushas understood the message. The Asuras understood the message. We possibly are yet to understand what the three syllables stand for. Prajapati looked at the Devas. "Have you understood my instruction?" The Devas replied, "Thank you for your precious instruction, the precious wisdom that you have given us. You have given us the, which stands for Dhamma." The Manushas thanked Prajapati and said, "Thanks for giving us the treasure of wisdom in the form of the syllable the, which stands for Dana, Datta." The Asuras replied and said, "Hey Prajapati, thanks for giving us the third Daya, the three-syllabled secret code. Dhamma, Dana, Daya. Let us decode this mysterious three-syllabled code. The. Let's take up the first Dhamma. Dhamma should also include, along with it, Shama. So, the teaching that was given to the Devas, the teaching is practice of Dhamma and Shama. Restraint, sense restraint, mind restraint. Dhamma stands for self-restraint. Now, when we look at the cycle of samsara, which is subject to the law of impermanence of everything, can be summed up through the cycle of avidya. Avidya means ignorance. The cycle of avidya sums up the state of samsara, the cycle of repeated births and deaths. What is the cycle of avidya? Avidya drives apurnatva. Apurnatva triggers karma. Karma shapes karma. Karma results in karma phala, karma vasana, which worsens avidya. That's the cycle of avidya. Avidya, apurnatva, kama, karma, karma phala, karma vasana, once again leading to avidya. A vicious cycle that traps all the living beings in the cycle of samsara. Avidya, ignorance, leads to apurnatva, incompleteness, a nagging sense of a lack of everything, always craving for more and more, and without understanding what exactly this more stands for. A sense of incompleteness in life, in spite of any accomplishment. Apurnatva is a result of avidya. This apurnatva, incompleteness, then triggers kama, selfish desires. And these selfish desires then drive, shape all our actions, karma. When selfish desires shape karma, then the actions become kamya karma, which then result in karma phala and karma vasana. Karma phala stands for all the consequences of actions that we need to experience. Karma vasanas stand for the subtle impressions that are made in our mind. Every karma results in karma vasanas. Karma vasanas, impressions in our mind, which then worsen our avidya, our state of ignorance. What is the antidote to this poison of avidya? The antidote to avidya is vidya, jnana, knowledge, not just ordinary knowledge, not just ordinary jnana, bhakti rupapanna jnana, knowledge that matures and ripens into bhakti for Bhagavan. Only when we acquire knowledge, only when we conquer avidya, then we become purna. When we become purna, complete, then we become more and more selfless. And this selflessness then shapes right actions, actions that are contributory in nature, actions that are service-oriented, actions that are done for the welfare of people at large. And only then we can discover the meaning and purpose of life and fulfill the mission of our life and living. Therefore, acquiring jnana is fundamental to any spiritual journey. It is only with jnana that we can deal with the fragility of life without becoming fragile. Jnana is like insulation to face choiceless situations. Whether we like it or not, there are many things which are beyond our control in this life. Only with the right jnana, we can deal with situations where we are choiceless, situations which are beyond our control. Jnana is like a raincoat when it rains. We cannot control rains, we cannot stop rains, but we can use a raincoat to protect ourselves. This acquisition of jnana, right knowledge, is a process, is a step-by-step, steady, long process. And to be on this path of acquiring right knowledge is formidable. It's not easy because we are constantly subject to the forces of temptations and tribulations in this world, which keep us always in a state of distraction and agitation and frustration. So therefore, we need to also know how to sustain the process of acquiring this knowledge, strengthening the acquired knowledge. During the initial stages, jnana is like a feeble flame. It can be put out very easily. The situations, the events that unfold can be overwhelming, and whatever little jnana that we acquire will not come to our aid. We need to ensure that this feeble flame of knowledge is well protected so that it can slowly and steadily grow. This feeble flame of knowledge has to grow and become a fire, has to become a conflagration which cannot be put out by any means. This process of strengthening the knowledge that we acquired, the knowledge that we acquire and assimilate, this process needs to be very, very carefully trodden. And the Shastras give us 3 very important disciplines to adopt and cultivate, to stay on this process. And these 3 disciplines are the disciplines of Indriya Nigraha, Mano Nigraha, Nididhyasana. Indriya Nigraha is Dama, the first Da. Mano Nigraha is Shama. Indriya Nigraha is the control of the senses. Mano Nigraha is the control of the mind. Nididhyasana is contemplation, meditation. One needs to practice these 3 disciplines in order to protect the feeble flame of knowledge. Indriya Nigraha is control and mastery of our sense organs. Whether we like it or not, our sense organs are designed to constantly engage with the outer world. Our sense organs are designed to faithfully bring each and every stimuli from the outside world available, each stimuli available, to bring them into the mind. So therefore, unless we control our sense organs, we are always bombarded by all kinds of unwanted stimuli from this world that is around us. Each and any thought that arises because of a stimuli that comes from the external world can create a disturbance in our mind. Anything and everything can agitate us, can throw us off guard, make us lose our sense of balance. So therefore, if we are not watchful, our senses when they are engaging with this world, can bring in stimuli that can create unwanted thoughts and keep us in a mode of disturbance and agitation all the time. Therefore, Indriya Nigraha is like fencing the mind, controlling the senses, filtering the thoughts that come into our mind, ensuring that only good thoughts come into our mind. Only the right stimuli that trigger the right kind of thoughts are allowed to enter through our sense organs. Indriya Nigraha is the first layer of security. Jnana is like a VVIP, which requires multiple layers of security. The outer layer, the first layer, the outer ring of security is Indriya Nigraha, which is to filter the stimuli that come inside the mind, to ensure only the right kind of stimuli, only the healthy stimuli is brought by the senses from the outer world into our mind. That is Dhamma, control of sense organs, self-restraint, mastery of sense organs. Then the second layer of security is Manonigraha, Shama. Now, many a times, in spite of trying to control our senses, we may not be able to prevent some stimuli entering our mind. Every stimuli that enters our mind triggers a thought process. But then, that is the time when we need to exercise Manonigraha. Manonigraha, the second layer of security, has to take over. Now, every thought starts feeble. It's like waves do not just suddenly happen in an ocean. Every wave starts off as a small, feeble ripple. When a feeble ripple is aided by strong winds, then it turns into mighty waves in an ocean. And eventually, this mighty wave can also become a tsunami. Similarly, every thought in the mind only starts as a feeble ripple. Now, when we exercise Manonigraha, we start asking the question, is this thought healthy or unhealthy? If it is healthy, which means if the thought is colored by jealousy, anger, greed, etc., then it is important to stop, to distract the mind away from the thought through a healthy distraction, through a meaningful distraction. Not aid the feeble ripple of the thought to become a mighty wave or eventually becoming a tsunami that is going to bring us tremendous agitation in the mind, make us lose a sense of balance in our life and living. So Manonigraha, Shama, is about mind control, exercising our will to ensure that we manage our thoughts effectively. And when we practice Indriya Nigraha and Manonigraha, we can then practice Nididhyasana, deep reflection, contemplation, and meditation. Practice focus and concentration. Bring all our attention to the present, which is so very important to do any right action productively. That's the first Da that was given to the Devas. Da, which stands for Dhamma. The second Da that was given to the Manushyas. Let us decode the second Da. The second Da stands for Datta, Dana, giving. It is very important for us to understand the importance of the law of giving. True living is giving. It is only when we give more that we will get more. This is the fundamental law of life. Only when we truly give, only when we give abundantly. Only when we give unconditionally, we transcend scarcity and we unlock abundance in our lives. Abundance mentality is to be rooted in the principle of contributing more than consuming, giving more than taking. It is humans who are given the unique faculty of intelligence, unique faculty to decide between taking and giving, and it is only us humans who can co-create abundance. Abundance is the very bedrock of creation, and we are meant to be co-creators of abundance. Therefore, the second "the" stands for giving, developing a mentality of abundance. Let us decode the third "the." The third "the" that was given to the asuras. The third "the" stands for compassion. Many spiritual seekers believe that to get liberated from the bondage of samsara, to make any kind of spiritual progress, one must necessarily give up the world. One must necessarily give up actions. Unfortunately, they fail to understand the spiritual potential of actions. Any spiritual vision must be consummated with not inaction, but with compassion. Any spiritual vision eventually leads not to inaction, but to compassion. A compassionate engagement with the world. When we realize how Bhagavan, the Supreme, when we realize how Krishna is ever waiting, ever willing, ever working, compassionately striving to uplift each and every one without any discrimination whatsoever. When we realize this, we are inspired. And when we love Him, that love for Krishna inspires us to do His work, compassionately engage with the world, compassionately work for the upliftment of one and all. Therefore, the third "the", compassion, rounds off the message that Prajapati gave the Devas, the Manushas, and the Asuras. The three-syllabled mysterious code. Interestingly, each of these three "das" were given to people based on their unique endowments. The three messages that were given were appropriate, chosen in such a way that the right kind of wisdom was shared with each of them. The Devas are endowed with all kinds of riches, and therefore they were given the first "the", self-restraint, be on guard, watch out. Otherwise, even with all your physical riches, you will end up becoming mentally poor. To Manushas, the second "the" was given to Manushas who are bestowed with abundance of resources. The second "the", giving. The message is, it is important to realize that the Manushas are meant to be co-creators of abundance, are meant to be net contributors in their life and living. The third "the", compassion, daya, was given to the Asuras. Asuras who are endowed with strength, with might. The message to the Asuras was, use your might appropriately. Use your might to protect the right. It is always important to protect the right with your might. And thus we see that the three das, the, dama, dana, daya, self-restraint, giving and compassion are foundational for successful life and living. Now, for all of us in today's world, we need to realize that we are admixtures of all the three. We are admixtures of the Devi, the divine, the Asuri, the demoniac, and the Manushi, the human. And therefore, we need all the three thus. We need the in our lives to be the foundations of our lives. We need self-restraint, self-mastery. We need to be abiding. We need to abide by the law of giving. And we need to cultivate the value of compassion. Self-restraint, giving, compassion should become the three pillars of the foundation of our life and living.